and we're going to be talking tonight about gurus and who they are, what they are, how you can find a guru, some of our experiences with gurus. And we'd also like to hear what you've experienced. You know, if you well, later on when we start doing the questions and answers and things, you know, you might have had some good or bad experience with gurus, or alleged gurus or real gurus or whatever. So we'd like to share your ideas.
Or is your husband your guru?
Now that would be a good one. Actually, it does say that in the Bhagavad Gita that I'm gonna worship you like a goddess, and you worship me like a god.
It works.
It works. You get fed.
Yay.
So yeah, hi there, guys. Hi, Vicky. Vicky's again. We've had Vicky before. I think we get to recognise all your names now, and the highly suspect avatar of Andrew Roberts. So we're just saying hello to you all while we sort of gradually let you come online. And
we've got to look at these screens.
Nana, hi, Nana. Hi, you two. Hi, Craig and Jane and everyone. Greetings from Gosport. You come on quite regularly, don't you? Hope you're both well. Yes, we are. Well, reasonably well. Casey Kirkman, I am super excited about this topic. Can't wait. Oh, good. Well, have some questions ready, Casey, because you know, we might be able to sort of clarify some ideas for you and give you some clarity about what gurus are all about. You know,
and our experience with gurus too.
Michelle Gloria, hi all. Nice to see you.
Read it, Craig.
Aparajita Banjariji. Sorry. Namaste to you too. Jitta here from India. Jitta, you call yourself.
Girl, okay. Hi, girl.
Hi, girl, Jane and Craig. So those of you coming in from India might be able to share some interesting ideas with us too, because there's a lot of misconceptions about gurus in the West. Hello from Florida. So happy to be here. My first time here. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, well, come back every week. And if you're anybody watching this later on after we've been live, don't forget to follow us. Click the little bell thing, because you'll get updates and then you'll know when we're live. Or follow our Facebook page too. Virginia, USA. Is that where they've got all the fires? No, they haven't in Virginia, is it? It's the other side, isn't it? Hi there, CB. Vicky Howe, what determines who is a guru? Well, yes, that's a good question. And we'll be bringing that sort of thing up in a moment. Good evening to you, lovely peeps. Actually, my peeps look a bit tired at the moment. If I'm honest.
Be quiet.
Peepholes in the snow.
Jan Rolfe,
yeah. Not sure if I remember. Lawrence.
from
Cardiff. I think you're new, Lawrence. I don't recognise your name. So it's nice to see so many people joining us and regulars coming as well. Colleen Dean from Canada. Yeah, we seem to be getting quite a few people from Canada. I get quite a lot of people saying, can you tell us some predictions about Canada? We get
Patrice from Germany.
We've seen Patrice a number of times.
Yes.
Yes. Leah. Hello, Leah. Nice to see you. And just letting everybody join this before we start talking about our topic, which we'll talk soon.
We'll just say hello. Hey, Frank. Michelle.
Hi. That's the lady with the funny ears. You still haven't had the operation on the ears yet, then.
God, you're rude. How rude is that?
Oh, they look like hearts. Hello, Craig and Jane. Watching my favourite couple on a Friday.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and it's like you say, Fridays. Every Friday, 7 o'clock UK time. So you'll have to check your time zone. We always come on at the same time at the moment.
Good evening, quite a while Julie. Now. Julie.
Hiya, Julie.
Comfortable. Apple. From Switzerland.
Oh, from Switzerland. Yeah, we've got quite a few friends in Switzerland too. There's quite a lot of spiritual interest in Switzerland, I've noticed.
Diana,
a lot of people there really interested in this type of thing. Yeah.
Michelle, Middlesbrough, UK.
So it's afternoon there in Guatemala. Nice sunny place, I should imagine.
It's been sunny here
Never
today
been to
too.
Guatemala. Interesting place, I should think.
And
Jungles,
from
isn't it?
Sweden.
And there's freezing cold there, I expect. I knew. Good. Hiya. Hiya. Yeah, it's nice to see lots of new people coming on lately. We're getting quite a big following, actually. We've just been getting, we want to get up to that 100,000 followers on YouTube. So tell all your friends and share this video so people get to know. And we'll kind of get a community going.
Oh, that's nice. Dinner was brought forward to be on time this week. Love this informal chats. That's
that's nice. You've actually
Thank you, Jen.
Yeah, well, that's nice. Yeah,
Yes.
We'll have to all have a takeaway together one night. We can all eat as we talk.
Gosh.
We could do a takeaway in.
Oh, that's
Good
nice.
evening, Jane and Craig. So nice to invite us to your
say
home.
the name. Who it's from?
Ninan.
Nina.
Ninan. I always pronounce the names wrong. I'm terrible with pronunciations of names. MW from Kentucky, USA.
That's nice. Well, they have Kentucky races there, don't they?
That's Kentucky in England, isn't it?
No, Kentucky races. They have the big hats like ladies do.
Oh,
like
yeah,
Leicester.
Kentucky is. Of course it is. Yeah.
Not Kentucky chicken fried.
And from there. Happy Friday, Mama.
Mama Pop.
From York. It's York, UK this time.
Mm-hmm.
Even like to go to York. That's got a lot of haunted stuff there. It'd be an interesting place to do a live.
We can transport you there.
Yeah. Evening from Brighton, presumably. Yeah, you've got an H instead of the N. You look forward to this. Yeah, so do we, actually. It's funny how quick it turns around, isn't it? I feel like it's only 5 minutes ago.
In USA now. That's Vicky.
Yeah. Okay, well, perhaps we better start talking about the topic then. I think there's
agility bits.
Oh, yeah.
Cornwall.
And Dean from Connecticut. Yeah, getting a lot of followers from America, actually.
Nottingham.
Yeah, and Nottingham, UK, and India, and all sorts, haven't we? All over the world. Amazing. I had to run at the store to get back before you guys started. Nice. Well, it's nice we've got such a lot of dedication. You obviously enjoy it, some of you.
From Mauritius.
Yeah, my first time here. So hope you keep coming then, Florence. It's a good show we do here, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's
kind of informal.
Derby, I am right.
Okay. First of the Triple Crown.
See, a woman's always right. You're wrong. I'm right.
Yeah. I'm not very good at betting on horses.
I don't bet.
I don't have those vices. Another from Canada here. Jay Sairam to you both. So you know about gurus and avatars. Hi from Sal in mid-Devon. Okay, from Mexico City. Oh, yeah, Mexico. Yeah, I have quite a few people ask about Mexico and prediction things. And things. You forget how many people view the channel nowadays.
Chocolate Devil.
I think YouTube's better than TV, isn't it, really? It's far more interactive, and it's far more interesting, I think. Particularly when we're on the screen.
Caroline's asking what the topic is. It's about
the
gurus.
Topic tonight's going to be gurus. We're going to talk about what we know about gurus, what our experiences of them are, and probably try to give you a few guidelines about how to find a guru, or if you should even be looking for a guru, and what we would really call a guru, and why gurus are here or not here.
Teachers.
Teachers, and the difference perhaps between a teacher, a guru, a pundit, and so forth. So, shall I kick off with some of the ideas and we'll just see how we get on? Well, I don't know. I suppose you could kick off really in a way, because what a guru, first of all, let's define it so we know what it is. It's in Sanskrit. I think the actual definition turns out to be bringer of light. Okay, so the word guru gets bandied around a lot. You get
it's out of darkness towards the light.
Bring us from darkness into light. Yasatoma Satgamaya. Darkness into light. I think that's what that means. We move from darkness into light, and that's what the guru is there for. He's the spiritual person to awaken us. He's like the enlightener. Yeah. He's an enlightened being. That ultimately is what a guru is all about. Because nowadays that name's been hijacked. You can even get the domain name .guru
or love guru
or love gurus and technical gurus, and everybody's a guru. So it gets mixed up with this word of being super expert, doesn't it? A psychic guru or whatever. It's a misguided word that we misunderstand in the West. But a guru is really the idea of bringer of enlightenment. And there's another word also, but we can also attach to it, which is a sat guru.
Yes.
And that's another word that gets misunderstood. They kind of think of it as just this one guy that's calling himself Sat Guru out there on the internet. The guy with the turban, I'm forgetting his name, and the beard, what we did the other week. But so there's it's Sat Guru, is usually means an enlightened guru. It has intuitive powers, you know, and has insight. But really, we all kind of have, don't we? We all have kind of teachers who are our gurus through life anyway. You know, whether we need some big enlightened guy helping us all the time, because I mean, you must have had it too, Jane. There's been people who have major influences upon us in our early lives, aren't they? Like, for example, wasn't that nun that
Sister Gertrude? I was brought up in a convent, and I had a lovely nun, Sister Gertrude, and she recognised my psychic abilities, and she was very protective.
Yeah. So in a way, she was a bit of a guru. In a way, she was a mentor, I suppose, or a teacher,
Which
or
is
a helper.
fun.
Fun.
Because somebody's spiritual, it doesn't mean they haven't got a good humour because they're a
No.
nun.
But in a way, she brought light,
Yes.
didn't she?
Yeah.
She helped you with your
good fried egg sandwiches.
Did she really? Good fried egg sandwich. Now that's the making of a good guru.
No,
Definitely.
no, you know,
If they can make a good fried egg sandwich,
from.
that's when you get that. You're hooked on them, aren't you? That's where we get a good guru from. They make good fried egg sandwiches, yeah. And makes sense actually, because you kind of have people in your life that have. What's the difference between a guide and a guru? See, so Vicky's just said there, because
a lot of difference.
Well, there is, but really,
well, a guru is a spiritual person. You can have a Sikh guru, Guru Nanak. You can have a Hindu guru. A guide is like, if someone's talking a spiritual guide, is sometimes people from that guide them in life from that's been here on the earth plane. But a guru is a living soul that's with us now.
Yeah, I suppose that's the definition, really. A guru is a living being. A spirit guide can also be a guru, though, I would say, in terms of that it's the bringer of light again. Like when we're mediums, we get guidance and help from the spirit world from, I wouldn't say always they were enlightened beings. I don't think, and this is a big question actually, but the spirit guides, I don't think in enlightened beings necessarily, but maybe some of them are. But I think we can connect and find a guru through the astral plane who can guide us subliminally, and that can be powerful and effective. But when you meet a guru, as it were, in real life,
you know the difference.
There's a big difference, because they are here in this world with you, and their power becomes even more.
One guru that comes to mind, Sharavana Baba. Craig will tell a bit more about him in experience. You know that you're in front of a divine form of somebody from a higher enlightened soul, if you like, and they know everything about you, and they're just like a teacher, really, guiding you. Yeah,
and there's lots of other good ones too. Like I've been very influenced by other great beings that have been Sivananda, Yogananda, Vivekananda. Ananda means bliss. So those are three that I think would be interesting. Even the I Ching, which I use as an oracle, for me is sometimes a bit of a guru, because it's almost awake. It's an oracle, but it's like awake. It seems to know. And the Nadis, of course, for me, were the most powerful influence I think there's ever been in my life, because they came at such an important time, and the great rishis, they call them, that spoke through them to us, and so they're like high power of guru too. So what the guru is really, I think it's the universe working in the background through all these different sources. We say, oh, I follow this guru or that guru or this guru, but actually it's the same force working through multiple
we should all
places.
Be our own gurus.
And we are the guru too, and everything that happens to us is also the guru. But that's pretty hard for most people to take on board, or to find, to be able to take that as the way the universe is. You know, you've got to be pretty switched on to that to know it's going to work. So sometimes people need a physical presence of a guru to help them through towards enlightenment. Nana Rosebud says here, where do gurus get the teachings knowledge from? Do they get it before they incarnate here, or do they acquire it through the universal energy?
They're born with it from previous incarnations. Like Sharavana, he came enlightened from the age of 13 when they go through puberty. Right?
You see, I'm a great believer in this idea that you can connect to knowledge in a way that, on lots of different ways. Intuitive knowledge, we can know something without having learnt it, you know. Then there's the sort of exoglossy type knowledge where you can speak a foreign language and you've never learnt it, you know, or you have a fantastic understanding of music, for example, like Mozart had. He got that knowledge from somewhere else, you know. It just kind of dropped into his world, you know. And then other people that have this inspired knowledge, people like perhaps William Blake and people like that, all these people have a connection, and I think mediums do this too, a connection with something that's greater than themselves. And so the knowledge can come to all of us. We can connect to the great universal knowledge, but some beings perhaps are very, very advanced from an early age. Like you say, they come into it really young, and awakened.
They're tested.
So, for example, Sathya Sai Baba, so that not to confuse you with too many gurus, he's an avatar. So we went to see him in India.
He's beyond a guru.
Yeah, he's kind of higher even than the guru idea. It's like an incarnation of perfection. The idea is there. And when we saw him, well, he did not reveal his who he was until I can't remember what age it was, but until he was a young boy at a certain age.
13.
Until that point, he almost became blessed with
13 again.
13 was it? Yeah.
Because they made holes in his head with nails, and they were pouring all sort of, I don't know if it's paraffin or that.
Because the parents thought he'd gone, was possessed.
They thought, yeah, he had evil forces. It wasn't. It's because he was enlightened.
They were trying to exorcise him of it, you know. So he went through all sorts of things.
So should exercise.
Yeah. Traditional gurus should give students in person instructions. What about if that is not possible in today's age? Yes, it is. The greatest gift is if you can have a living guru. We talked about, didn't we? But for many people, that's not going to happen.
How it works. For many incarnations, a guru calls you. That's why you're in presence of a guru, without really finding them.
You get called, if you're meant to have a guru in this life, you will be called to that guru, and there will be nothing can get in your way of it happening. It will happen, like it or not, in a way. Because it's like the universe opens up for it to happen. But obviously people are looking to get guidance. And I have to ask, you know, what is it you're looking for, first of all, if you want guidance from a guru? You know, are you trying to find somebody that can wave a magic wand and take away all your troubles?
Or most Indian people looking for blessings and helping families.
Yeah, but what I say is, why are you looking for a guru?
Guidance.
You know? Are you really looking for spirituality, or are you looking for something
that
takes the problems away?
In awe of a special person like the Dalai Lama.
Giving up something in order to do it. I'll come to something more about that later on. But so she asked, what do you do if you can't find a real life guru? Because how do you find it? No, I think probably the worst way to find a guru is just to go on the internet and do it the lazy man's way.
Yes, that's true.
You know, because it's so easy. People want, this is the problem. People want
quick solutions.
Don't they?
They do.
They want easy answers to things. They want someone else to tell me what to do, you know? Well, you can find some people like that.
I must find a washing up guru.
But you know, the danger with that is, like Manson said to Timothy Leary. He said to Timothy Leary, you take away the head, Timothy Leary, and I put a new one on. Right? Evil. And you know, and this is the problem with that mindset. I mean, people like Adolf Hitler knew those types. Osho was another one that I felt very dodgy with, and I'm sure there's people out there that love Osho. you know. But when you look at the backstory of him and you see what went on, there's lots of dangers there in taking this submissive attitude to it, you know. So just looking superficially, that's why I say, ask yourself, why am I in need of guru? What is it I'm looking for? You know, and the guru normally comes around when you start looking for true awakening.
That's
and
right.
you do the work.
That's right.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I do, absolutely. Because we had Sharavana that came to our house. He invited himself. We didn't invite him.
Yeah.
He invited himself. He said, I'd like to come to your house. I said, not possible, Swami, because I'm going on holiday and grandchildren were taking to Harry Potter. When will you be back? I said, 15th. I come to your house the 17th.
Yeah, he was funny, wasn't he? And the thing is, we found him funny and he found us funny because I think we take a slightly different attitude to the goggly-eyed devotees that sometimes surround gurus. Because in spiritualism, 7 principles. One of them is personal responsibility, simple as that, which means you take personal responsibility for your destiny, your karma, and everything else in life. You don't, everything in the universe that's wrong with the universe is my fault because it's my karma, right? So if we take personal responsibility, we don't get sucked into this idea of guru worship, because I don't personally like that. Now, that's what they call bhakti, right? Bhakti for me is respect, you know, like we have a joke with Sharavana, or I'm sure we could have done exactly the same. I mean, Carol was talking to us about having jokes with Sathya Sai Baba the other day, wasn't she? And, you know, you can joke with the guru, you know, but underneath there is still the deepest of respect, isn't there? And that's what I understand as the bhakti, because we all worship the ultimate that lies behind this humor that we're having. And truth, yeah. But I don't think it's healthy. That's why I say, I'm talking a lot, Jane, sorry.
Carry on.
Yeah, but I've been thinking about this. That's why, because I don't think it's healthy to go seeking gurus in order to escape from your reality. You seek gurus in order to find your reality, you know. That's why in a way, I like the slightly fierce gurus, like that one I saw in India. You remember
the Mystic Journey?
Yeah, Mystic. His name is Maha Ananda Swami. There's a man with red eyes, you know, that lays in the fire, terrifying. Or the Agori yogis in India, the ones that drink human sick out of a skull and blood out of a skull. You know, they are taking a path that is terrifying to most people and breaks all taboos.
Get powers.
But it's also to get enlightenment. It's a very interesting path.
But it's magic.
Yeah, it's a dark path, but it still takes you to the same goal. So it's still. So I don't like this insipid yogi, sort of modern yogi sort of way.
Yeah, but everybody goes on that journey and they're individual. They find it in their own way. So it's not wrong if they do become devotees.
No, everybody has to find their own path. They have to find their own path. I mean, I'm just saying my personal thoughts, but I always feel in this world, this is my attitude. I come into this world a pupil. I want to leave this world as a teacher.
A master.
So I think all of us, and I think all of us should take that attitude, not to have someone else do it for you. That's where I start to worry about some of the things about gurus. Buddha was a great teacher. He was actually a guru too. Yeah, of course he was, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, one of the greats. He was just like those Agori yogis that I described. He rejected so much about the world, and he was starved himself. You know, people forget the early life of the Buddha. He lived as an ascetic in Varanasi, and here comes our guru, Boo. You know, he's going to go in his basket back there, and was sorry, the cat's chasing me. But he went through that hard, difficult path. He didn't find it easy. He wasn't looking for some simple, easy way out, like too many people do, I think, going back to that question earlier about how do we find our gurus, you know. So I said you seek and you'll find.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah. Seek and you'll find. And what will happen is the guru will find you.
Well, it's taken many incarnations sometimes to actually find your guru, but he would already be aware of you in this incarnation.
I think I put on my notes here. Why do gurus always have to be Indian?
Well,
they're not. They don't have to be, do they?
Yeah, but then why did Jesus Christ go to India?
Well, yeah. India is. I think a lot of the holy men are born into India because India is such
high spirituality.
It is. It's such a holy place, isn't it? It's even the land.
Well, it's better than
itself
going to
is
Clapham,
holy.
isn't it?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean to say that enlightened people can't be in every.
There is
form.
enlightened people here.
And I think you've got to look beyond. You've got to look beyond the robes and the.
Who is that man we
all
saw
the-
in London, Craig? We went to a lecture.
Sri N.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He was a lovely man.
What a lovely
He's a
man.
guru to a lot of people. Sri
Yeah,
N.
he's
A very
lovely.
lovely energy. But you've got to look. You've got to look to the person, haven't you? He was very kind and
Yeah, he's
connects
a nice
with
man.
you on a human
Yeah.
level again.
He
You know,
spoke sweetly,
not someone you're
softly.
going to go touching his feet, really.
No.
Although that's an Indian way with respect, but for
Oh, that's
Westerners,
nice.
I mean, we saw Amma.
Yes,
You know, she's a great
a
person.
hugging saint.
Yeah. And what about the Sufi saints, says Noreen? Yeah, because again, that actually Sufism is under a lot of threat at the moment by extremist Islam. But that was the kind of that the Sufis, for example, influenced the other great teacher, Gurdjieff, who came up with some fascinating ways of dealing with the brain and people's the sleepiness of mind, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So there's lots of different paths. Don't always look for the obvious, because it's not always the obvious that might suit you as a person. You know, it's like many paths up the mountaintop, I'd say. Yeah. So who you obviously your favourite guru at the moment? I mean, I was really taken by Sai Baba.
Well, I like Sai Baba, and also I like Sharavana Baba.
Yeah, so they're kind of this, but I see
And
it
the
all
Dalai
as-
Lama.
and the Dalai Lama too.
Mm.
He had a beautiful energy too when we saw him.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's the same light through a multiple coloured window, really. You know, you
Never heard of this one, have you?
some think of Bracco the Gazer. No, I don't know, Kathy. Sorry, I don't know. I've not heard of
We
that
only
one.
know the ones that are out there in ashrams.
No, there's
We've
loads
got a
out
big
there.
following.
There's
Yeah.
loads, and there's just one or two well-known ones.
There's some
that I don't
fake
know.
ones too.
Yeah, and that's the danger. I think, you know, for example, I mean, I got told that a few fake ones I came across, like the Divine Light Mission, Guru Maharaji. Do you remember that one at all?
Mm.
Dave was into all that.
Yeah.
David was into that. Very dodgy stuff, because
And
they
that-
were releasing the Kundalini for people with a forceful physical method to help them to sort of find enlightenment, but such a dangerous path.
Right,
you know?
Patricia, how can India be so spiritual when they are so cruel to animals and women? I don't get that. Well, we have that here in England, don't we?
Yeah.
And that. So it's all different caste systems.
In India also, it's like all everywhere. We're in the age of Kali Yuga, and even the gurus. can be
Explain what the age of
penetrated.
Kali Yuga is to people, Greg.
Age of Kali Yuga is the sort of the dark age that lasts for thousands of years. So we're coming out of gradually into the next one, Dwapara Yuga. But it's kind of like it's when darkness can penetrate everything.
Like the
And
stars.
the Indian culture, as I understand it, grew in a period what they called Satya Yuga, and went through various thousands of years of transformation, far back further than what the traditional archaeologists think. And I think there's been corruption in all of it. There's lots of things in India. India, remember, was also invaded both by the British and by the Mughals, not the Mughals, well, you know, the Raj and all the rest of it. I mean, and it's had a lot of things changed in its ways too, and it had you said a lot of the traditional ideas are lost, I think. But if you look behind Indian culture, you'll find that there is behind it a purity and energy that goes back tens of thousands of years. And although there's a lot wrong, there is in India, there's an awful lot of child slavery, and there's lots of terrible illness. The place is filthy sometimes in a lot of places. It's not like the romantic India we see on the movies and things. It's not like Passage to India and all those lovely stories. It's pretty horrible in places, and there's an awful lot of suffering. But behind it, I think there's still a holiness that is in the land itself that's embedded there. And it's the only place that the highly enlightened can find a place that can nurture those type of souls.
Yes.
I'm going on too much.
Through
Jane.
suffering comes love, of course, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
People that suffered, then we find love. And do you follow Satguru? Are we talking about the one with the white beard?
The SADH guru is the one with the white beard. And
no, I don't follow him. I've seen his lectures because it seems very all about money, to be honest.
Well, a Sadguru is supposed to be is a title like Swami that you might say to all sorts of different gurus, or Baba is another one that means great man, or Bhagavan. There's all these words are associated with the name.
That Satguru used to be a chicken farmer.
But a Sadguru is a title that goes, it's the title. So it's not him, he's just adopted that. So like I say, a Sadguru is a guru that's supposed to be enlightened. Right. But unfortunately, from what I've seen, he doesn't strike me personally as enlightened. He strikes me as an intellectual and a very, very clever man, the similar way that Osho was a very, very clever man. Now, Osho is a very negative person in my book. I know a lot of people watching this will get cross with me about this, but I thought he was a dreadful man, particularly when he was Rajneesh and reinvented himself. Sadhguru, very, very clever. I mean, I'm not saying he's horrible. He's very inspiring because of his intellectual knowledge, but I can't see an enlightened man there. But when I look in the eyes of someone like Sharavana, I see an enlightened person. When I look into the eyes of someone like Amma, I see an enlightened person. When I look into the pictures of a person like Yogananda, I see an enlightened person. And perhaps it's the enlightened part of us that recognize it. But certain people, and maybe it's just me, but certain people I look at and I think, no, you're clever, you're brilliant, you're a genius, but you're not an enlightened person. And I can't tell you who's enlightened and who's not. You have to find out for yourself, don't you, really?
You do.
You have to go from your gut feeling. But I worry also about egos, because, I mean, I think the ego's fun to play with. Like, I'm the most brilliant medium in the world, as you know.
Right, the next question is from Apple.
But, you know, I worry about people's egos sometimes.
Yeah. Now, Apple's saying, what colour auras do authentic gurus have? Well, I can answer that. When we went and stayed in Sai Baba's ashram in India, in, I think it was 1987 or
1997.
Yeah. His aura was very bright. It's like putting on a light bulb and you see the outline of the light bulb, an energy field, like a very strong energy field. And I can't say with every gurus you see that.
Yeah, I remember Sai Baba seemed to have a power to his colour of aura, didn't it? I saw golden colours when I saw him. Absolute brilliant. And bright white and golden. It was like all the colours at once, really.
I always see pink around Sharavana's aura. Love.
And Sharavana, yeah. And I see different colours around him sometimes. Green is seen around him as well. Peace. I don't think it matters. I think the colour of the aura changes depending upon the circumstances.
The moods.
Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, it's saying on the screen. And also, if you do subscribe, we've got another video coming up on Sunday at 4:30 being released UK time, where we've interviewed the friend we went to India with, Carol Alderman, who went with us, and she was responsible for the Human Values Project with Satya Sai Baba. And she was telling us some absolutely fantastic stories about Satya Sai Baba, and we know her personally. And she was talking about how Sai Baba materialized a gold chain out of the middle of his hand. She was talking about it came out like that. So there was no conjuring or anything, because it came out of the. She could see it with her eyes coming out of the flesh of his hand,
next to him, like
right close, like we're together now. And so there's some fantastic stories there. We went to India with Carol. And we got to know her. We know she's an absolute sincere person. So she's decided to put her experiences. It's the first time she's really shared it publicly, I think. She might have done one other interview with Radio Sai, possibly. But that's a good one to look at. So watch out for that. There's some interesting hints in there about all sorts of the thoughts about Sai Baba and his return, possibly as well, because gurus sometimes are in lineages. So one guru begets another, and like the power gets handed down the chain. And Sai Baba is a lineage of incarnations of Sai Baba of Shridi,
and then Prima
Sati
Baba,
Sai Baba, and then Prima Baba.
Yeah.
So he's got 3. He's got one more to come. Some say he's here already, a boy of 8 years old who's not realised he's Sai Baba yet.
It's a bit like the Dalai Lama when they put a tray and they've got to choose what was their favourite in the last incarnation. It could be prayer beads, shells and things, and that's how they recognise.
That's right, isn't it?
True
Yeah, it's sort of like that's another one where they jump between incarnations, and so these things can be done.
Patrons, don't forget patrons.
So Jane wants me to mention about patrons. I thank you for those guys that have been joining us as patrons. So if you're enjoying this channel, you can become a patron and follow us through the patron site. Basically, you give a small donation and it helps us to take the channel a few more stages further, which we're going to do an awful lot more once this coronavirus is out of the way. But we're going to do have our own studio to do it in. We're ultimately hoping to set up our own kind of ashram type spiritual center type thing ultimately. And we also try to do some spiritual work with India. For example, this week, one of the patrons has given some money to help give a cow and a calf and 3 months fodder to a poor person in India who's desperate. So we keep trying to do things like that. Don't forget,
also out of that foundation, we've paid for a heart operation for Mr.
all sorts of things. But lots of things go on. But it's not us doing it; it's you doing it through us and helping us. So it's fantastic if we can all share in that sort of work as patrons. Yeah. So where were we? I was talking about lineages, like for example, if you look at Yogananda, Babaji is sort of Maha Avatar. Babaji is sort of the top guru, as it were, and then it goes down through the lineage of Lahari Masai, and what was his name? The other one, Sri Yukshwara, down to Yogananda. So they kind of follow lineages too, as well as individual gurus.
How did Andrews asked? How did your guru find you?
Okay, which one we're talking about now?
Sharavana.
Not necessarily. You see, Sharavana. I'm difficult for me to say who's my guru because I'm very influenced by the teachings that come through the Nadi, and I feel that's my guru in some ways.
My guru's Sharavana.
But Sharavana is certainly someone who has an enormous influence on us here, doesn't
he? Actually, how it came about was Craig had a phone call from Videk, and said, you really must go and see this guru. He's only about 7 miles away from you.
Well, actually, he said he wanted us to see him in London, and you kept saying, oh, it's too far, it's too far. I said, he's just down the road from you. He arrived on our doorstep, didn't he, really?
Well, he didn't arrive on the doorstep.
Pretty nearly.
So we went to go and see this guru, and there was a yoga school there. We went to this beautiful house. And like all gurus, you're waiting hours and hours. The women were sitting on the right side on the floor, and men on the left. And I sat at the back away from it because I really wasn't interested, to be honest. And suddenly this young man came through the front entrance. There was all these lovely rose petals on the floor. And he was swinging this rose. And the first thing I thought, that ruddy rose is going to come off in a minute. And I was thinking about my son. And he suddenly walked up to me and handed me the rose. Everyone turned around and looked at me and said, don't worry about your son. And then and he wouldn't go away. I was wishing in my mind he'd go away because I was quite embarrassed. And then when we actually went up to meet him, we had to draw tickets. And number 23.
He came up to you first. He walked into the room, and everybody's sort of all guru, all wanting his attention. He walked straight over to you, gave you a rose, and from you, he walked straight over to me and patted me on the back.
Yeah.
And then he said, I've been waiting for you for a long time.
And then you draw like tickets, raffle tickets, and it had 23 on there. Well, we live at 23. And then when we actually met him, he said, where's your rose? I said, it's in my heart, Swami. And he gave me another rose. And he said, "I've been waiting a long time to meet you. You and I were together in previous life," he said to me.
Yeah, and me. But he knew that we were
Can't
together.
leave him
We were
out,
on
can
different
we?
sides.
Can't
We were on
leave you
different
out.
sides of the room, wasn't he? So actually, I'm writing a new book about it. Actually, at the moment, it's going to
Second
take
book.
second book about it. I've got one book out there called God is Everywhere, which tells the story of when we went to see him. I took my grandson, our grandson, who has type 1 diabetes, to see him after some rather worrying things that were said in the Nadi. And then I'm writing a new one about when I went to India to see him and Jane and my experiences of him, and also lots of other stuff, because it's not just about that, it's about all sorts of things. I'm even putting Donald Trump's Nadi in.
I thought you were going to say Donald Duck.
Donald Duck, yeah, Donald Duck's Nadi. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. It's still in process. It's being cooked up now.
Kangaroos, that's interesting.
Can gurus continue to be gurus once back in the spirit world?
Well, the work's finished.
Well, no, they come back again.
Yeah, but no, the work's finished on the earth plane, and they might have what I call an apprentice here left behind, and they got their teachings that go down. Like Sai Baba's teachings are still here.
Well, Sai Baba's reincarnating 3 times, he's told us about, and maybe more. The Buddha is supposed to come back again as Maitreya, isn't he? So, and Jesus is supposed to come back a second time, and so on. They all the great teachers reincarnate time and time again, I think, until perhaps their work is done already, and it's just out of compassion, like the idea of
You can have
Buddhism of the bodhisattva
female
that comes
gurus,
back.
not all male gurus.
Yeah, they are. I mean, not just Amma's the most well-known at the moment, and there's I've forgotten the name, the one that goes to Germany. Mother Mira is another one that's out there at the moment. Another lovely lady, I believe. I don't remember the name of the one that that Ian's person used to know at the coffee place. I've forgotten her name. There was that lady too, and there's Ananaya Mayo, I think what her name was, that was in Varanasi. I've forgotten her name properly.
There's many, Craig.
But there's lots. Yeah, I mean, and there's many also that you are very obscure that you wouldn't have heard of.
I thought it said Mama Puff Puff, but Mama. Was Jesus a guru, a son of God, in your opinion? Well, Jesus was a teacher, wasn't he?
All enlightened people are sons of God. Okay, there's not just one. This is where the Romans messed it all around, because these things that I do, you can do also. Something like that, Jesus said, didn't he? I and my Father are one. You know, not me but my Father. And he made lots of quotes that suggested that he was that it wasn't just him, really. That we were all this enlightened. We all had the potential to be enlightened. And I'm a great believer in the fact that Jesus went to India.
He did.
In his missing years. And that upsets a lot of Christians when you say that. But there's masses of evidence for it. There's a video I made some years back. If you do a search on the for my videos about it, absolutely convinced that he spent his. In fact, I went to the cave in India where Jesus is supposed to have sat and meditated, and the stories that surround his travels there. And when I sat in that place, I could feel a very powerful holy presence. In fact, that same cave, many great gurus had sat in the past. So, you know, I can't see. I just think religion messes it up, in my opinion, because religion starts to say, our way only, no other way. This is the only way. All the rest is rubbish. And they're so all the Indian stuff's rubbish, all the Islamic stuff's rubbish, or if you're taking just Christians only, for example, all the great ancient Greek teachings are rubbish. All those people will go to hell. You know, no, it's nonsense. I'd rather go to hell with Gandhi and the rest than be stuck in a Christian
Gandhi's
heaven.
gone to hell? How do you know
Well, because
that?
that's what the Christians would say. You see, if not all Christians, most Christians wouldn't say that, I think, but if you get a closed mindset and saying only my religion is right, same if you're in Islam, same if you're in Hinduism and say that's the only way, or Buddhism and that's the only way. Like you say, it's all one.
You all should be as one.
It's all one. So there's your answers to that one. But
here's William. Your mother is your first guru. Very true. If it wasn't for women, none of you men would be here, would you? Very true.
And that's true. That's a classical saying that you come up with there, which is a very true thing, actually. And yeah, so I suppose the first earthly guru.
And your guru.
They say the first guru is Shiva in the Indian tradition. But like I say, you don't always have to always, because I'm interested in Indian stuff and Jainism as well. It doesn't mean you have to follow an Indian path, a Hindu path. I mean, it's any path is the same.
One for you.
Is there a way to know our own past reincarnation lineage, like the gurus, Dalai Lama, so we can know our own mission in this world? Negative emotions to change into positive ones and so on. So yeah, there is. And I did it through the Nadi because that told me my past incarnations.
That's reliable, isn't it?
Past life regression is a possible way into it. Hypnotic stuff, which can be very good as long as your own imagination doesn't get too trapped in it, I'd say. And your dreams could reveal it too, and your meditations might reveal it.
You've got to have evidence, though, Craig.
Yeah, and I mean, people ask me when we do readings, they say, "What's my past life?" And I say, "Well, I can give you my gut feeling, but I can't prove it to you." But maybe if you see another psychic and you don't tell them anything about what you've been told already, you might get confirmation. But it's a difficult field because we pass through that river of forgetting, don't we, when we pass between lives, and all our past lives are wiped out, but there's still echoes, I think, of who we were.
Well, we've met many Henry VIII's past lives and many people that think they're Anne Boleyn, haven't we?
Yeah. And a lot of people make great claims to huge lineage anyway and say, I was Cleopatra in a past life and all the rest of it, don't they? And, I'm afraid that's mainly fantasy, and a great guru, I don't think, would need to think those sort of crazy things.
Is that Carly? Can a guru student reverse roles in different lifetimes?
Can a guru stroke student reverse roles?
I'm not
quite sure what she means by that, but I always find that in my own work, I mean, it's if I've taught someone something and then later on I've forgotten and I'm fallen from the path, the very person I taught sometimes come back to them and say, "You said to me once, Craig, such and such," and I think, blimey, that's exactly what I should be listening to now. So perhaps we do teach each other. I always think ultimately we're all gurus at heart. We're all divine beings at heart. We're all awakened souls. We all have an overself. We're all awake, and it's just discovering that we are the guru in one level, but also the world itself is all God. Everything that exists is the same divine consciousness. That God word, I don't like to use the word God because it's a word that's so full of misconception, but it's all consciousness. That's a better way of putting it. Everything is consciousness. I'm consciousness, Jane's consciousness, your consciousness, the world itself, physical world is even consciousness. Even you, Boo, are consciousness. And so everything that happens in this strange game of life, this strange play that we're living in, is all part of a teaching process. In actual fact, everything is the guru. Everything that exists is the guru. And every situation that happens to you has a hidden agenda to it in many ways. It's like you could some people get frightened by it and become paranoid. But actually everything that's happening in this moment, the words you're hearing now at this moment, are all part of your awakening. And everything that happens to you, me, all of us, is the guru. Everything is bringing light. Who was the guru in Egyptian times?
Well, wasn't necessarily a guru in Egyptian times.
Well, I don't have huge knowledge of Egypt, ancient Egypt. I suppose all the gods. It's like India. It has a whole pantheon of gods, doesn't it? It has all these different gods, and I think it must have been the same in India, wasn't it? That there was multiple gods representing different aspects.
Was it Nafi Dafi?
So Delphi was Greece.
No, I'm not talking about Greece. It begins with N.
Oh,
Nafi.
Nefertiti. Yeah. But it was Ra, wasn't it? I suppose.
And Nefertiti Ra.
And then they had, I can't remember. There was the one god. The Egyptian culture decided on that we would get rid of all the gods and have the one gods, Anon, I think it was, or something like that. And Moses is supposed to have been one of the priests or whatever it would have been of that one God idea, and that the idea of the one god, arose out of the latter stages of Egyptian thought. So even to this day, we're carrying the thoughts from ancient Egypt even now. So I suppose, but I my knowledge is of Egyptian history is a bit scatty. So, but that's what I feel with it.
Vicky, what is the best way to find a spiritual circle that's not a scam? Is the best way to find a spiritual church? For instance, in the USA. I think you can find them looking on the internet, can't you?
I'm not sure about what happens in the USA. Certainly here in the UK.
What's that? Hansville?
Hydesville.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. What we know of in the USA, Hydesville, which is a spiritualist sort of village, isn't it?
Yes.
And
there are genuine people there.
But that's in New York sort of county area. In the UK, it's the Spiritualist National Union, snu.org.uk. Sounds like an illness, doesn't it? snu.org.uk. And some you say that's not a scam because those organisations are non-profit, not for profit. So both of those I think would be helpful. I don't know enough to be able to give. But perhaps some of you could put some comments in the comments below if you're from America and can help direct people to find proper spiritualist organizations there. But some of these teaching things that people do are scams. They're not fully scams. They're just overpriced idiocy. Because just because a person calls themselves a medium doesn't mean they're a medium. Mm. And equally, just if someone calls themselves a guru doesn't mean they're a guru, does it? I mean, you've got to, by their fruits you shall know them. Can they give the proof? And I often think when it looks to gurus too, the thing that an enlightened person has that the normal guru doesn't is intuitive powers and sometimes even magical type of powers. Like Sai Baba materialized. Sharavana, all sorts of strange things happen around him. A guru, when you see them, will know your question before you even ask it. So they have the siddhi powers, but even the siddhi powers aren't proof of a person's enlightenment. They're just a possible byproduct of it. But I often think that if you're looking for true people, they would naturally have a spiritual presence to them that you would know in your heart that is correct, that is true. An enlightened person has an aura to them that is very different to a normal person.
Like my aura behind me.
Yeah. You've got the aura tonight. I'm completely washed out. Yeah. Can my guru in this lifetime be my student in the next life? Interesting. No, it's just a general question, isn't it? Carney's asking there. I mean, I think what you're saying. I'm not sure a guru would obviously, if a guru is a fully enlightened person, they don't really have more to learn, because once you've reached the enlightenment, that's it. You know it. You know the answer. You might have other forms that you might take. You might have extra knowledge, you might say, but that's all secondary to the fact that once a person has awakened, there's no falling asleep again. But I think all of us as teachers to each other, like I say, I teach one person and that person comes back and teaches me the same lesson that I taught them in this lifetime. And I'm sure it works over multiple lifetimes as us as individuals and teachers and so forth. But an enlightened person is enlightened forever. It don't go away. Yeah, he's watching the chat.
Yeah, he's enjoying it.
He's watching it on the screen there.
He's an enlightened being, aren't you?
Who knows?
An enlightened cat.
I think the cats might be the enlightened beings, like the Egyptians
He's
thought.
so relaxed, though, isn't he?
They just know, don't they? Yeah. I mean, they got it sussed out. You feed them, you look after them, you pamper them. We are their slaves. Do you think the lost books of the Bible should be reinstated? Is there anywhere we can read them? Well, you can read them. They're the Gnostic texts, and they're all published. And the Gospel of there's Gospel of Thomas. There's the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. There's a Gospel of Judas out there.
Gospel of St. John.
No, John. We've got John, of course, in the Gospels. We've got all the other what was his disciples called? Oh God, my brain.
Peter?
Yeah, all the all the Gospels are for all his disciples, because he had 12 disciples, and there's 12 different Gospels out there, which are missing, plus more, because when the Romans came along, and particularly Constantine, Constantine had this sudden vision of in the sky, and he won a battle because he thought the Christians had won in the battle, because he saw this vision of a cross in the sky. Decided Rome's going to become Christian, but decided that anything we're going to have in Rome has got to be suitable for the Roman audience, you know. So they got a whole group of them together in two meetings, one at Nicaea and one at Council of Nicaea and the Council of Constantinople, I think it was. Well, I can't remember. There's two major ones. And they basically chucked out all the stuff that they didn't agree with. So all the stuff about the real character of Jesus got kicked out. And also, a lot of people forget that Jesus is also in the Quran. There's whole stories about Jesus in the Quran that Christians overlook. So you can find it in the Quran, and you can find it also in the Gnostics. And the Gnostics believed much more in this idea of us having direct knowledge of God, not having to go through the priest or the intermediary. When Christianity went wrong, they stuck a priest in the way of you and God. Only through, the priest would interpret it for you. The priest understood the Latin, but you mustn't understand it. They became a mind control organization, and an organization that was there for power. And right from those early times of Rome, the Christian church became corrupt. And what we're left with is a shadow of what Christianity is. And so, yes, it would be fantastic if the Gnostic texts were put into the Bible and go from that wide to that wide.
Craig.
Okay, so last questions, please, guys. And you'd better answer some, Jane, a bit more.
Well, we've only got one question.
Well, you've got no 2 or 3, we can have a few. But I'm yapping on far too much.
Yeah. Right.
So you can see us on Twitter, of course, and you can see us on Facebook, and obviously on YouTube here. But don't forget to click the little bell thing. That will get you following us. You'll get updates every time we go on live. And if you if you really want to connect with us all the time, go and join us as a patron, because you can interact with me then, and I always answer
you
your
have
questions.
to answer this.
Okay. You said Trump was a priest, and his next life he became bad. So did he lose his enlightenment, or was he never a true priest at first?
I don't think he was a true priest.
Because in the Nadi it said he was a priest.
Of what?
He was a Shivite. So he was doing, it was on Mahashivarati.
Shivarati.
Donald Trump was a priest, it said, and he stole the gold, and he spent the gold on alcohol.
So nothing's changed for him in this life.
Well, he doesn't drink. He doesn't drink at all. He's completely teetotal, which makes me think that he understood something about that. So perhaps he did fall from grace. I wouldn't have said just because a person's a priest in any religion that they're enlightened by any means. They're
some terrible priests that done things.
Yeah, but the Nadi said that he would refined his spiritual ways again, and would become a very spiritual man towards the end of his life. So there we go. What they mean by that, I don't know. Whether that becomes Christian spiritual or spiritual, I don't know.
Indigo. Have grus had many incarnations? It depends, doesn't it? How many incarnations they have? Would you say they have about 9?
Well, they have multiple incarnations
Yes.
sometimes, but an avatar has no need for any incarnation, because some are like the angels; they're born directly from the consciousness of the divine in the first place.
Like this little guru here wants some biscuits.
Yeah,
They are divine biscuits. Bless you, Boo. There you go.
The Boo's down there.
There you go.
So thank you very much. Yes.
So
We're obviously concluding now. So it's nice of you guys to join us. I hope you found it interesting. I did.
I expect
But I
you
was
did.
talking all the
Big
time.
ego.
Yes, you can spot a guru if he doesn't have too bad an ego, or he can joke at his ego.
Oh yeah, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
But funny enough, all spiritual people have a good sense of humour.
Well, yeah, I think so. This is what in those Gnostic tests. I bet if we looked at them carefully, you'd find Jesus had a sense of humour too. Namaste. Thanks for answering my questions. Yes, and don't forget, you can always have some questions prepared when you come online, guys. We always try to give priority to the patrons if we can, you know. But if you've got a good question, obviously that's going to bypass everything.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank
Peter.
you, guys. And also thank you for Domenico in the background here. He's doing all the work.
Would you like to see Domenico?
No, we can't. Pull him in. No.
You will see him next time.
No, he won't do. We obviously see Domenico in some of our other videos that we've got on there. Yeah, well, thank you guys for joining us again tonight. It's been really nice.
Happy weekend
and keep following us like this too. And tell all your friends. Share it.
Peace.
Share this on Facebook. Share this. Give it a thumbs up if you haven't done that up to now, because it all helps keep the channel going,
Vicky.
and so that we can start getting more and more subscribers and take this to a new level. Thank you. Oh, you seem to like us then.
Yes.
No nasty comments, but then we have got Domenico in the background putting all the nice ones up. Danke for den tollen chat. Yeah, and a nice tan. Yeah.
And he's got a beard to go with it.
Yeah. So okay,
thank you, Ruby.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. It's nice of you to all join us like this.
Thank
and don't
you.
forget, if you like it, become a patron. And also, a lot of these thoughts and ideas are in my books over there too. You know, you can come and have a look at our website at psychics.co.uk, which was just up then, because you can lots of extra sorts of articles there, and you can book our readings with us there and get all the books and all some background on us as well, and find out all the terrible things we've done in our lives.
haven't done terrible things. How dare you?
Okay, we better say goodbye to everyone now then, Jane. All right, thanks everybody.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye for now.